Adetola knelt by the stone well in the corner of her vast, empty compound, her trembling hands clutching the cold edge. The echoes of the palace council's harsh judgment filled her mind. She is blind. A prince cannot marry a woman with such a flaw. Her heart ached with a pain so deep it seemed to reverberate in her very soul. She whispered into the void, "Why is love not enough?" Before we dive right into this story, please consider subscribing onto this channel, turning on notifications, and letting me know where you are watching from in the comments section below. Adetola was a woman of rare beauty, with skin as smooth and radiant as polished ebony and a face that seemed sculpted by the gods themselves. Her blindness had never dimmed her grace. She moved through life with dignity, her walking stick tapping rhythmically on the stone pathways of her large compound. The home, along with several rental properties, had been left to her by her late parents, who had raised her to be resilient. They had also left behind savings, which she managed carefully, ensuring she never lacked. Though Adetola lived alone, the world sought her out. Suitors came often, drawn by her beauty and wealth. They came with honeyed words, promises of love, and offers of protection. But Adetola was wise beyond her years. She sensed their insincerity, the greed behind their smiles, and turned them away one by one. Her life was peaceful, though lonely, until the fateful day she met Adekunle. It was a sunny afternoon, and Adetola had gone to the market as usual, her trusted stick guiding her along the familiar path. She bought fresh vegetables and fruits, her ears attuned to the bustling sounds around her. As she made her way home, a careless cyclist hurtled past her, startling her and causing her to stumble. Her basket of goods fell to the ground, its contents spilling across the dusty road. Before she could kneel to retrieve them, a warm voice called out, "Let me help you, my sister." Strong, calloused hands gathered her belongings and handed them back to her. "Are you all right?" the voice asked, full of concern. Adetola nodded, her heart pounding. "Thank you, I'm fine. I'm Adekunle," the man said, his tone light and friendly. "I just moved to this village. May I walk you home?" She hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Thank you. I would appreciate that." As they walked, they talked. Adekunle shared that he was a hunter, new to the village, having left his hometown to escape a life he did not choose. "My parents wanted me to marry a woman I did not love," he explained, "but I believe love must come from the heart, not out of duty or pressure." Adetola felt an unfamiliar warmth bloom in her chest. She smiled faintly. "You are wise, Adekunle." From that day on, Adekunle became a part of Adetola's life. He visited her often, bringing fresh meat from his hunts and stories of the forest. Adetola, in turn, shared stories of her own, her childhood, her dreams, and her struggles. Their bond grew deeper with each passing day, and soon they realized they had fallen in love. One moonlit evening, as they sat in her garden, Adekunle took her hands in his. "Adetola," he said, his voice trembling slightly, "you are the most remarkable woman I have ever known. Your strength, your kindness, your beauty, they have captured my heart. Will you marry me?" Adetola's sightless eyes filled with tears. "Yes," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Yes, Adekunle, I will marry you." They planned a simple ceremony, but their joy, however, was short-lived. Adekunle insisted on taking Adetola to his hometown to introduce her to his family. He believed love should be celebrated, not hidden. They made the journey together, hand in hand, their hearts full of hope. But when they arrived, the truth about Adekunle's identity was revealed. "You are a prince, Adekunle," Adetola exclaimed, shocked. Adekunle nodded solemnly. "I didn't want you to see me differently. To me, I am just a man who loves you." Adetola smiles. They were welcomed warmly by his mother. But the warmth turned cold when Adekunle's father revealed a shocking truth. "Adekunle," he said gravely, "you cannot marry this woman." "Why not?" Adekunle demanded. His father sighed deeply. "Because you are not just any man. You are a prince, the heir to this kingdom, and a blind woman cannot be queen." Adetola's heart shattered. She felt like a burden, a stain on Adekunle's destiny. The elders and chiefs were furious when Adekunle announced his decision. "You will bring disgrace to our kingdom," They roared, but Adekunle was firm. "If you cannot accept Adetola, then I will renounce my title and live as a common man." Adetola was devastated. She had never asked for a royal life. She turned to Adekunle, her voice trembling. "You cannot give up your birthright for me. I won't let you." But Adekunle was steadfast. "A kingdom without love is no kingdom at all. If they cannot accept you, then I will renounce my title and live as a common man." "I mean what I said." The conflict dragged on for weeks. Moved by his determination, Adetola decided to prove her worth despite her blindness. She began to weave intricate baskets, which she sold at the market. The villagers marveled at her skill and resilience. But when Adekunle's family rejected Adetola again and again, her heart broke in a way she hadn't known was possible. She spent the night in silence, sitting under the stars, tears streaming down her face. By dawn, her decision was clear. She took Adekunle's hands, her fingers trembling. "I cannot let you give up your birthright for me," she said, her voice soft but firm. "You are a prince, Adekunle. Your people need you. I am just a blind woman with nothing to offer a kingdom." Adekunle shook his head, his voice desperate. "You are everything to me, Adetola. I don't care about the throne. I care about you." But Adetola's resolve did not waver. "You will come to resent me one day if I let you give it all up," she whispered. "Go, Adekunle. Be the leader your people need. Live the life you were born to live." Before he could argue further, she slipped away, leaving his hometown behind. Months passed, and Adetola returned to her quiet life in her compound. The days were long, the nights even longer. Though she kept herself busy, weaving baskets and tending to her garden, her heart felt hollow. The sound of Adekunle's laughter, the warmth of his hand in hers, haunted her every moment. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Adetola heard the familiar crunch of footsteps on her gravel path. Her heart quickened. She turned toward the sound, gripping her walking stick tightly. "Adetola," a voice called out, a voice she knew as well as her own. "Adekunle," she whispered, her breath catching. He stepped closer, and she felt his presence like a balm to her aching soul. "I tried to live without you," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. "I tried to be the prince my family wanted, to fulfill my duties. But I can't. Every day without you feels like a lifetime." Tears streamed down her face, but she shook her head. "You shouldn't have come. I told you I wouldn't be the reason you gave up your kingdom." Adekunle knelt before her, taking her hands in his. "I gave up the throne, Adetola. I gave it up because a kingdom without love is no kingdom at all. My heart belongs to you, and I cannot lead my people while my soul is incomplete." Adetola's chest tightened. "What will you do now?" "Whatever it takes to build a life with you," he said. "If you'll have me." For a long moment, she said nothing, her sightless eyes filling with tears. Then, with a trembling hand, she reached out and touched his face. "I told you once that I wouldn't let you give up everything for me. But now, I see that you've already chosen." Adekunle nodded. "And I'll choose you, every day, for the rest of my life." Adetola's heart, though battered and scarred, finally allowed itself to hope. Together, they sat under the stars, knowing their path would not be easy, but trusting that their love would be enough to light the way. Subscribe for more stories like this.
Please remember to subscribe to this channel and give my video a thumbs up. And I'll see you in my next video soon. Thank you.